What if I told you the most dangerous people never raise their voice, never argue, never explain? They shut down disrespect so cleanly it feels invisible. This forbidden insight was hidden for a reason. Disrespect is rarely about you. It is about power measurement. Every human interaction contains an invisible question. How much can I get away with? Most people answer that question emotionally. They defend, they explain, they get loud, and in doing so, they reveal weakness. Disrespect does not come from strength, it comes from permission, and permission is given silently. Here are some laws to abide by. Law 1. The law of emotional asymmetry. Whoever feels less controls more. This is not morality, this is mechanics. Niccolo Machiavelli understood this centuries ago. Power belongs to the one who can wait, who can remain unreadable, who does not rush to prove innocence or worth. The moment you react emotionally to disrespect, you hand the other person the steering wheel. Calm is not passivity. Calm is dominance. A coworker talks over you in a meeting, mocks your idea, subtly smiles. Most people respond by pushing back verbally, or worse, later complaining. The powerful response is silence, a pause, eye contact, then one sentence. Are you finished? Nothing more. No anger, no explanation. The room shifts. Why? Because status is not claimed by words, it is assumed. Law 2. The mirror law. Carl Jung exposed something disturbing. People project their unowned shadow onto others. Disrespect is often confession. The insecure mocks confidence. The powerless provokes reaction. The ignored seeks visibility. When you understand this, you stop taking insults personally. And when something no longer affects you, it no longer controls you. Most disrespect is bait. The goal is not to hurt you. The goal is to move you. Once moved emotionally, you are predictable. Stillness destroys prediction. A partner uses sarcasm, dismisses your feelings, tests boundaries. You argue, you explain, you overgive. Disrespect grows. Why? Because tolerance teaches others how to treat you. The cold truth, love without boundaries becomes permission for erosion. The correct response is not a fight, it is a withdrawal of access. Less availability, less explanation, more silence. Respect returns, or the relationship reveals its true nature. Both are wins. Law 3. Stoic detachment. The Stoics knew this. You cannot control how others behave, but you can control what behaviors get access to you. Disrespect survives on engagement. Starve it. Calm is not weakness. It is the highest form of emotional violence. A coworker constantly jokes at your expense, calls it just humor. You laugh along. Inside, resentment builds. One day, you stop laughing. Silence. Then, calmly, don't speak to me like that. No explanation. If they mock you further, they were never a friend. You didn't lose anything. You gained clarity. Law 4. Nietzsche's truth of strength. Friedrich Nietzsche warned us. Weakness moralizes. Strength sets boundaries. You do not need approval to command respect. You need self-alignment. Disrespect disappears when it finds no reward. Family disrespect cuts deepest because it's familiar. Dismissive comments, control masked as concern, guilt disguised as love. Arguing here is useless. The powerful move? Distance without drama, consistency without explanation, boundaries enforced by action, not words. The high-status frame. High-status individuals do not chase validation,
They do not over-explain. They do not rush to defend their image. They let silence do the heavy lifting. When someone disrespects you and you remain calm, their nervous system panics because now they are uncertain. There was a man who used to be everywhere, helpful, available, always explaining himself. At work, he was ignored. In love, taken for granted. Among friends, joked about. By family, dismissed. By society, invisible. One day, he stopped reacting. No arguments, no speeches, no emotional performances. He spoke less, observed more. When disrespected, he paused, then acted accordingly. People noticed. Some left, some adjusted. His life became quieter, but more heavy, more solid. Respect didn't arrive loudly, it arrived naturally. Never explain yourself. Your friends don't need it. Your enemies won't believe it. This is a truth echoed through philosophy and power. You do not shut down disrespect by force. You shut it down by removing its oxygen. Emotional reactions feed disrespect. Calm suffocates it. And remember this, the strongest response is not reaction. It is control. Silence speaks, and power listens. Why does disrespect return to some people even after they speak up once? Because the problem was never the words, it was the frame. And once a frame is exposed, it must be replaced. This is where most people fail. Law 6, the law of frame control. Whoever defines the frame defines reality. You can win an argument and still lose respect, because respect is not logical, it is perceptual. Niccolo Machiavelli knew this well. He warned that appearing powerful matters more than being right. Disrespect thrives when you enter their frame. You shut it down by refusing the frame entirely. A superior speaks down to you publicly, not yelling, just subtle humiliation. You don't challenge them in the moment. You don't defend yourself. Later, privately, you say one sentence. Public undermining damages output. I won't participate in that dynamic. Then silence. You didn't ask, you didn't accuse, you defined reality. Now the pressure is on them. Explaining is submissive, declaring is dominant. The more you explain, the more you look unsure. Law 7, Jung's shadow panic. Carl Jung revealed something terrifying. When people cannot provoke emotion in you, they confront their own shadow. That creates anxiety. Disrespect is often an attempt to regulate their own insecurity. When you remain unmoved, they feel exposed, and exposed people retreat or escalate. Both reveal who they are. A friend pushes your boundaries again. Same joke, same tone. This time, you do not correct them. You change behavior. You stop engaging as deeply. You reply slower. You withdraw energy. Soon they ask, is something wrong? You respond calmly. I adjust access based on behavior. No emotion, no drama, just policy. Law 9, Stoic selective attention. The Stoics understood power through selective engagement. You don't fight everything. You choose what deserves a response. Disrespect wants attention. Starve it. Silence is not avoidance. It is filtering. Your partner dismisses you during conflict, rolls eyes, invalidates your feelings. Old you would argue harder. New you pauses. You say, we'll talk when respect returns. Then you disengage. Not angry, not cold, just unavailable. The nervous system notices. Respect often returns fast. If it doesn't, the relationship was feeding on tolerance. Law 9, Nietzsche's disturbing truth. Friedrich Nietzsche exposed it. People do not respect kindness, they respect self-mastery. Unchecked tolerance becomes contempt. Boundaries are not cruelty, they are self-respect made visible. Family believes access is automatic. They interrupt.
They belittle. They guilt.
You argue for years. Nothing changes. Then you stop attending every call, every gathering, every emotional summons. You show up calm, brief, grounded. You leave early. Respect begins quietly, because boundaries backed by action are impossible to debate. Law 10, the consequence principle. Words without consequences are noise. Disrespect stops when it costs something. Attention, access, time. You don't threaten, you simply act. There was a woman known for her patience. Everyone leaned on it, abused it. Colleagues took credit, friends crossed lines, family ignored limits. One day, she became selective. She didn't announce it, she enforced it. Some called her cold, others called her distant. But something strange happened. People listened. Her calendar cleared, her presence carried weight. She lost nothing real. She lost misuse. Silence, when chosen, is louder than anger. A principle understood by those who lead without force. Disrespect is not defeated by confrontation. It is defeated by non-cooperation. You don't fight storms. You become solid ground. And remember, respect is not demanded. It is enforced quietly. Stillness wins. Why do some people never get disrespected, even when they say very little? Not reaction, not boundaries, but presence. Law 11, the law of presence dominance. Power is felt before it is spoken. Disrespect happens fastest to people who broadcast uncertainty, through tone, through posture, through nervous explanations. High-level respect is non-verbal. Your nervous system speaks before your mouth does. This is why some people walk into a room and conversations change. You don't shut down disrespect in the moment. You shut it down before it starts. Niccolo Machiavelli never advised constant confrontation. He advised controlled visibility. Appear calm, appear selective, appear unmoved. People fear what they cannot read. Disrespect requires emotional access. Opacity removes access. You enter meetings, you speak less. When you speak last. You don't rush ideas, you let silence sit. When challenged unfairly, you pause, then say, let's stay on outcomes. No defense, no emotion. Over time, interruptions stop. Not because you fought, but because the room adjusted to you. Law 12, Jung's unconscious hierarchy. Carl Jung revealed this quietly. Every group forms an unconscious hierarchy based on emotional stability. The most grounded person rises without campaigning. Disrespect targets volatility. Stillness climbs the hierarchy naturally. In relationships, disrespect often begins subtly. Tone changes, sarcasm appears, boundaries blur. You don't argue the tone, you change your availability. You stop over-texting, stop over-explaining, stop chasing repair. Your calm creates contrast. Either respect returns, or the dynamic collapses. Both outcomes protect you. Law 13, Stoic self-containment. The Stoics warned, if your peace depends on others behaving well, you are already weak. Self-contained people are hard to provoke, hard to manipulate, hard to disrespect, because nothing leaks. Most people don't want equality. They want emotional leverage. When you remove leverage, the game ends. A friend consistently crosses lines. You already spoke once. Nothing changed. You don't repeat yourself. You downgrade the relationship. Less access, less intimacy,
less priority. No announcement. This is not punishment. This is calibration. Law 14. Nietzsche's selection principle. Friedrich Nietzsche understood something brutal. Not everyone deserves access to you. Respect is selective survival. Weak boundaries attract predators. Strong boundaries filter allies. Family tests limits the hardest because history creates entitlement. You don't rehash the past. You enforce the present. You leave when disrespected. You end calls early. You skip gatherings calmly. No anger, no speeches. Consistency rewires behavior or reveals who cannot adapt. Law 15. The consequence without drama. The most powerful consequences are quiet. No threats, no warnings, just predictable outcomes. Disrespect leads to distance. Respect leads to access. Simple, clean, undeniable. Strong people don't need to announce strength. It's already felt. Disrespect is not solved socially. It is solved internally. When your inner state aligns, the outer world adjusts. At work, you no longer react. You no longer correct tone. You state expectations once, then you act. You leave meetings that waste time. You ignore subtle jabs. You respond only to substance. Soon, people speak carefully around you, not because you're aggressive, but because you're precise. In relationships, you no longer chase clarity. You no longer argue for understanding. You observe behavior. Consistency earns access. Disrespect loses intimacy. No speeches, no ultimatums. Your calm becomes the standard, and only those who rise to it stay. In friendship, you don't confront every violation. You don't educate grown adults. You filter. Some friendships fade quietly. Better ones replace them. Your circle shrinks. Your peace expands. In family settings, you stop trying to be understood. You stop revisiting history. You enforce the present. Respectful tone gets time. Disrespect gets distance. No bitterness, no drama, just reality. In society, you no longer react online, no longer argue opinions, no longer defend choices. You move quietly, deliberately, and something changes. People either mirror your respect or disappear. Both outcomes are clean. Law 17. The non-need principle. The less you need respect, the more it follows you. Neediness leaks. Self-sufficiency seals. When nothing is being sought, nothing can be taken. There was once a person who felt disrespected everywhere. Then they learned boundaries, then silence, then presence. Eventually, they stopped thinking about disrespect at all, because it had nowhere to land. Their life wasn't louder, it was lighter. They didn't dominate rooms, they stabilized them, and people felt it. When nothing in you is begging, nothing outside you can insult. You don't shut down disrespect with words. You don't shut it down with force. You shut it down by becoming non-reactive, non-needy, and non-negotiable. That is the end game.